Welcome, and thank you for joining me on this quiet journey through time. Tonight we'll travel back to a place where ancient stones stretch over mountains and valleys, standing as a silent witness to centuries of endurance, hardship, and human resolve. Imagine yourself on the Great Wall of China, not as a tourist or admirer from afar, but as one of the countless guards, laborers, or villagers whose lives intertwined with this monumental structure. Together, we will explore the rhythms of daily life in a time and place where survival demanded more than courage. It required resilience in the face of biting cold, relentless isolation, and constant vigilance. But this is more than a tale of hardship. We will also meet the emperors, explore mysteries buried beneath the surface, and glimpse the lives of those who dwelled far from the wall's harsh edges, in the glittering courts of imperial China. As you settle in, allow your mind to wander gently through these stories. Let the calm cadence of history wash over you like a quiet breeze. And as the layers of time unfold, may your thoughts drift softly, carried by the rhythm of a past, both distant and deeply human. Why you wouldn't survive a day on the Great Wall? Imagine yourself waking in the early pre-dawn darkness, the sky a soft blanket of stars above the rugged ridge where the Great Wall snakes endlessly. The cold air is sharp and clear, carrying the faint scent of pine and damp stone. You rise from a hard bed, made of simple wood, or perhaps a thin mat laid on rough floorboards. Your breath forms small clouds in the chill as you dress quickly in layers of coarse cloth, worn from years of exposure. Life on the Great Wall was not a place for comfort. You are one of the many guards stationed along this ancient barrier, tasked with watching for signs of distant movement, the faintest sound or shadow that might signal approaching danger. The wall is a constant presence, massive and unyielding, but it offers little protection against the biting winds and the loneliness that settles deep in the bones. The rhythm of your day is measured by routine and vigilance. You begin with a simple meal, often a bowl of millet porridge or a handful of steamed buns, warm and filling, but plain. Food supplies are scarce, and variety is a luxury rarely afforded here on the frontier. The scent of cooking is muted, mingled with the ever-present dampness of stone and earth. The morning light creeps slowly over the mountains, casting long shadows across the watchtowers. Your duties pull you from tower to tower, patrolling the wall's length, your footsteps echoing softly against ancient bricks. The surface beneath your boots is uneven, cracked in places and overgrown with sparse grass. The wall climbs and dips along the ridges, demanding physical endurance and careful footing. At times, the wind howls through the battlements, a mournful sound that underscores the isolation of this place. There are no crowds, no comforting voices, only the occasional call of distant birds or the faint rustling of leaves stirred by the breeze. You listen for other sounds, the snap of a twig, the distant murmur of footsteps, always alert, yet wrapped in a profound stillness. In this harsh environment, health is fragile. Winter brings freezing temperatures and heavy snow, turning the wall into a narrow, icy path. During the summer months, the sun beats down relentlessly, and supplies of fresh water become a precious resource. Illnesses spread quickly in these remote posts, and medical care is rudimentary at best. You learn to accept discomfort as a constant companion. The social life here is sparse. Fellow guards live similarly harsh lives in nearby barracks or simple cottages. Their conversations are brief, often revolving around the next ration delivery, weather changes, or the rumors carried by passing traders. Letters from family are treasured, though infrequent. Beyond the daily grind, there is a persistent sense of purpose. The wall is both shield and symbol, a line between worlds, between peace and potential conflict. Yet, the cost of maintaining this barrier is borne quietly, by men like you, living in a relentless balance of hope and hardship. As the sun sinks behind the mountains, painting the sky in gentle hues of amber and rose, you take your place once again upon the wall. The stars emerge, twinkling faintly above the vast landscape. The night brings a new kind of challenge. Shadows lengthen and merge, and the watchfulness must deepen. This life, filled with routine, vigilance, and solitude, is not one easily endured. It is a constant struggle, woven with moments of stillness, breath, and the persistent whisper of history beneath your feet. As you settle into the quiet night, the cold air brushing gently against your face, the Great Wall remains, eternal and silent, a testament to human endurance and the fragile beauty of life on the edge. The fall of the Ming Dynasty, a tale of rebellion and corruption. As the quiet night over the Great Wall slowly fades into dawn, our journey now shifts from the cold stones of the frontier to the grand halls and hidden chambers of imperial China during the late Ming Dynasty. Imagine yourself walking through the intricate corridors of the Forbidden City, where the air carries the faint scent of incense and lacquered wood. It was here, amid splendid beauty and intricate power struggles, that the fate of a great dynasty was sealed. The Ming Dynasty, ruling for nearly 3 centuries, was a time of immense cultural achievement and architectural marvels. Yet, behind the glittering facade lay deep fractures, corruption, famine, and unrest, quietly but steadily eroding the foundations of imperial power. Picture the lives of the officials and courtiers who navigated this world of silk and shadow, their fortunes rising and falling with the emperor's favor. Many were caught between loyalty and self-interest, trying to maintain order as the empire faced growing pressures from within and without. In the countryside, the common people felt the harshest effects of these troubles. Harvests failed under the weight of drought and floods, leading to widespread hunger. Disease spread quietly through villages, taking lives and sapping strength. It was a time when survival was uncertain for many. Among the rising voices of discontent was Li Zicheng, a former minor official turned rebel leader. Imagine the stirring of hope and fear as his forces gathered strength, fueled by famine, taxes, and resentment against the ruling class. Li's campaign swept across northern China, capturing cities and towns as the Ming court struggled to respond. The Chongzhen Emperor, the last ruler of the Ming, faced a crushing dilemma. His palace was a place of beauty, but also increasing desperation. The weight of rebellion pressed closer with each passing day. Imagine the solemn moments in the emperor's chambers, the quiet decisions, the fears unspoken. As Li Zicheng's troops approached Beijing, the atmosphere in the city grew tense. Citizens watched with a mixture of hope for change and dread of chaos. In the final days, the emperor made a tragic choice. As the walls of the capital fell, he took his own life, marking the end of the Ming Dynasty. This moment was not merely a political collapse, but a profound human tragedy. A dynasty built over centuries quietly unraveling in the span of weeks. The fall of the Ming opened the door to the Qing dynasty and a new era of China's history. Yet, amid the turmoil, life continued. Traders still moved along the Silk Road, artisans shaped delicate porcelain, and scholars debated Confucian ideals. The pulse of culture beat steadily even as empires rose and fell. Reflect now on the contrast between the stoic guard on the Great Wall and the emperor's heavy solitude in his palace. Both lived within the same vast empire, bound by duty and caught in the currents of history. As the sun sets behind distant mountains, painting the sky with muted shades, we prepare to explore a mystery buried beneath the earth, a reminder of the secrets time holds, waiting to be uncovered. The Terracotta Army. Why were 8,000 soldiers buried underground? As twilight deepens and the quiet hum of history surrounds us, we now turn to one of the most remarkable archaeological discoveries of the modern era, the Terracotta Army. Imagine yourself standing in the soft earth near the city of Xi'an, where thousands of life-sized clay soldiers have rested silently for over 2 millennia. This vast underground army was created to guard the tomb of Emperor Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor who united China around 220 BCE. Though the surface world around you is calm, below lies a sprawling necropolis filled with rows upon rows of these painted figures, each uniquely crafted. Soldiers, archers, cavalry, and chariots. The air in the excavation pits is thick with the scent of damp earth and ancient stone. Imagine the delicate brushing away of soil to reveal intricate armor, the carefully molded faces that show a variety of expressions and features, capturing the individuality of each soldier. The scale is overwhelming. Tens of thousands of these figures were crafted, an army frozen in time. Why did Emperor Qin commission such a vast legion to accompany him in death? The belief in the afterlife during this period held that the emperor would continue his rule beyond the grave, and this army was meant to protect him in that other realm, a steadfast force against any threat. Yet many questions linger. The exact methods used to create and assemble these figures remain partly mysterious. How were they fired so perfectly? Why were the soldiers buried without their weapons, which were found in separate caches? And what secrets still lie buried beneath the surface, waiting for discovery? Excavations continue slowly and carefully, as preserving these fragile relics demands patience and precision. Some parts of the tomb remain unexplored, enveloped in silence, inviting wonder and speculation. Imagine the quiet dedication of the artisans who worked tirelessly to produce these figures, sculptors, painters, and laborers whose hands shaped the clay with skill and care, perhaps unaware that their creations would become one of history's greatest mysteries. The Terracotta Army connects us to a time long past, yet its presence feels immediate, as if the soldiers might rise again with a soft breath, standing guard over a vanished world. As night deepens, we leave the subterranean ranks behind, moving from the earth to the palace, where a different kind of life unfolded, filled with ritual, power, and subtle intrigue. Life in the Forbidden City, the hidden world of the imperial elite. As the cool night air settles, we now move from the quiet earth to the grand ornate halls of the Forbidden City, the heart of imperial power and privilege in ancient China. Imagine yourself stepping through the vast red gates, beneath sweeping golden roofs that gleam softly in the pale moonlight, entering a world both magnificent and deeply secluded. The Forbidden City was home to emperors and their families, a sprawling palace complex filled with thousands of rooms, courtyards, and gardens. It was a place of ceremony, politics, and strict rules, where every movement, every word was measured and meaningful. Picture the daily life of the imperial elite here, so different from the harsh realities of those guarding the wall or living in the countryside. The emperor's mornings began with ritual and reflection. He would be attended by eunuchs and servants who moved silently like shadows, tending to every need with practiced efficiency. The air inside the palace was often perfumed with the scent of sandalwood and burning incense, mingling with the delicate fragrance of blooming lotus flowers in the gardens. Silk robes rustled softly, embroidered with dragons and phoenixes, symbols of imperial power and divine right. Yet, beneath the surface of luxury, life in the Forbidden City was governed by strict hierarchy and discipline. Courtiers navigated webs of alliances and rivalries, where favor could be fleeting and consequences severe. The emperor's word was law, but also a heavy burden to bear. Imagine the quiet evenings in the Emperor's study, where scrolls of poetry and philosophy lay beside ink and brush. Scholars and advisors gathered in hushed conversations, debating matters of state and strategy. The palace was a hive of controlled energy, restrained but constantly alive. The women of the court, empresses, consorts, and attendants, lived lives both gilded and confined. Their days were shaped by ceremony, protocol, and subtle power plays. Behind closed doors, personal hopes and fears unfolded in whispers and glances. As you walk through moonlit corridors and rest in serene gardens, imagine the contrast between this world of refinement and the relentless struggle faced by those on the distant wall. Both were parts of the same empire, yet separated by vast social and physical divides. In the quiet moments before sleep, let the gentle cadence of palace life, the soft footfalls on marble, the rustle of silk, the faint murmur of distant music, carry you deeper into the peaceful night. Conclusion. As our journey through time slowly draws to a close, take a moment to rest in the quiet spaces between these stories. From the cold, unyielding stones of the Great Wall, where weary guards kept watch through biting winds and lonely nights, to the grand halls of emperors whose lives were shaped by duty, power, and fragile hope. From the silent ranks of the Terracotta Army, standing eternal beneath the earth, to the whispered intrigues of the Forbidden City's gilded chambers. Each fragment of this vast history invites us to reflect on the many faces of endurance and change. Imagine now the soft weight of the present moment, the comfort of your own surroundings, the gentle rise and fall of your breath, the quiet stillness enveloping you. These ancient stories, once filled with struggle and perseverance, now fade into peaceful echoes. History reminds us of the endless rhythm of human life, how hardship and luxury, solitude and society, past and present intertwine in a delicate dance. And as you close your eyes, let the calm cadence of these tales guide you gently toward rest. May the silent watchmen of the wall, the emperors, the buried armies, and the palace dwellers all fade into the quiet night, leaving only calmness and stillness behind. Thank you for sharing this quiet journey through time with me. Sleep well, and may your dreams be soft and gentle, carried by the whispers of history. Good night.